Do you like the beach?
Well, hi everybody. She's back. Right before I came on, right before I started making this video, I got a donation from a Karen S. And thank you very much. I just wanted you to know it was appreciated. I hope you don't mind me saying your first name. I didn't say your last name. I don't even know where to start. Anyway, my name's Lynn. This is Lynn Tarot Readings, if you've never caught me before. Been reading tarot cards for many, many years, close to 50, if not more. And got a couple of calls today from people that have been following me wanting me to do a video because they're all uptight. They also brought something to my attention that I hadn't even thought of. They said that I had said something about this happening a couple of weeks ago. And I remember meditating on it and seeing it all go out. And and then I got to thinking, and I think I did say something on the video about it. I'm not surprised. I had somebody ask me today, what's Trump's plan? Well, Trump's never had a plan. But he is a useful idiot. There's a lot of other people around him that's had plans they've been working on for 30 or 40 years. And it's not good stuff. So, I was going to talk a little bit about it, just very little, because I don't want this to go on so long that I'm up till 5 in the morning loading it like I was the other night. But this does remind me, everything going on, I just can't help thinking or going back to the documentary that was on Netflix called The Family. There's been so much of this stuff set up way ahead of time for a takeover of our government to totally realign it. And I hope not, but I feel like that's maybe why so many of these Republicans have been silent, because they feel like Trump got in there by accident, but he was going to be very useful to him because you can lead him around by the nose. And they've been wanting to dismantle our government. Maybe not all the way down to the bottom, because they don't want to lose their place at the trough, or their place in power. It's the power that they're all in there for. I keep looking up and it feels like my glasses are crooked. But I do keep thinking back to that documentary every time I see this stuff happening. And if you have a chance to see it, you should see it. They've been planning to dismantle our government, and it looks like it could work. That's scary. There is so much going on here that we can't see on the surface. I don't know about you guys, but I keep asking myself, how long is the Senate going to put up with this? Because they know that he's not going to get reelected, surely. So is there a secondary plan in place to keep power even if he's not reelected? Is this just fitting in? Is this a trial run for what they were planning on doing when he lost the election anyway? All this bringing in the... Anyway, I've got it written down here to come up pretty quick. Bringing in this so supposedly old amendment or rule or something where he can have the militia come into the states, which isn't true, but he's already reciting it. I figured that he would do something like this if he didn't get reelected, but I couldn't figure out how he was going to do it. Is this a trial run? It's really kind of... This whole thing's been scary ever since he got elected and started throwing our government out the window and nobody said anything. But now that it's getting closer to the election, I kept wondering, well, why haven't they said anything? They know he's going to lose. What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen at Fox News? What's going to happen at all these other places? Of course, they're not going to go out of business, but how are they going to go from pushing all this propaganda to then pushing other propaganda? I guess they'll do it. They were doing it before he got in. But I don't think they plan on him getting out. I don't think, like, the workers know what's going on. But maybe the guy in Australia that owns it, or he maybe not live in Australia, the one from Australia, and I know his name, it's just not coming to me right at this minute. Maybe him and some of the other richest people in the world are in on this. Although I don't know what their plan is. They're already making more money than they can handle, and if they make it so bad that you've just got total worker bees who can't even get out from under their desk like they do in places in China and Japan and other countries where they sleep under their sewing machines at night, who are they going to sell this stuff to if the United States can't even afford to go put groceries on their table? So that's kind of strange to me too. I mean, I don't know. So I don't think they're really going with toppling the whole government, but just changing. Like I was talking about that documentary of the family, they even made the men, caught them real early, brainwashed them, had them use Jesus' name to get into all these other countries and other people they were working with, who ended up, a lot of these people ended up in the Senate and in the Congress, and even had them pick women from the same organization. They were telling them who to date. I mean, it was almost like the Twilight Zone, or it was like that stupid, I read the book, but the show where the women wear the red capes with the high collars. It was real weird. But anyway, and I kind of feel like maybe they'd just been working on this for years, waiting for somebody to come along, and then Trump stepped in and he was just like a puppet. Whoever the last person he talked to is the one that told him what to say or do. And then I can't help but think about, I'm pretty sure it was the Gettysburg Address where Lincoln spoke and said that if America ever falls, it will be from within. So what's the plan for the Senate, Fox? When Trump doesn't get reelected? Was it to declare martial law? I've thought about that. I think I mentioned it before. But this is way ahead of time. So is this a practice run? Is this what they're trying to do? Figure out exactly how to do it so when they want to do it again, they can maybe pull it off? Saying that the election wasn't fair, so they're taking over. But I can't help, and I hate to say this, but I can't help that what's behind this is just not wanting to give up the power. And then I don't even know how the president could even work with the Senate if it was even still set up where the president had to work with anybody by the time this was all through. Because unless they just declare all the elections unfair, because a lot of these senators aren't going to get in. In fact, right before I started making this, I just heard Steve King lost his seat today. That's something we all could go, at least we could all put a smile on our face and go to bed smiling tonight about that. And we got to find something to smile about. So that may be part of it, is that they don't get reelected. Right now they're just going for the primaries, but if they're up for the election and they don't get reelected, are they just going to say, well, presidency's rigged, so ours wasn't right either? What are I just can't figure out why they're still going along with this bullshit when they know there's no way he's going to get reelected if it's any even close to fair. And we've always thought that if push really comes to shove, we can always go to the streets. But meanwhile, the Dems have the House. And there's quite a few of them in the Senate. They don't have the majority, but they've just let this president just tear our democracy completely apart, and it's like they've just poo-pawed it. I mean, they brought it up every once in a while and complained about it, but they should have been screaming from the rafters every day, or at least 2 or 3 times a week, every time he pulled another block out from under it. Our government, they should have been raising hell and having a fit and showing the people what was going on. And speaking about showing the people what was going on, I just was watching the Majority Report right before I turned this on, and they showed a police truck in Boston where they had a headshot from one of the buildings shining down on this truck. Early in the day, there was nobody around, and these 3 policemen pulled up the canvas in the back of the truck, and guess what they were taking out of there and laying around? Bricks. Now, they're trying to do some more research on the video. There was a number on the top of that truck. It might be able to be traced, because that was really in clear view, the number on the top of that truck. And maybe if they had a really good computer, they could even get the license plate number, but they're pretty sure it was from Boston. So what's going on, people? I guess that's what I'm supposed to be telling you, and I'm going to read on June and see what else is going on. And another thing, I just can't see Trump recouping his popularity at this time. I mean, I think it's down to 30. I can't see him bringing that up in any way, especially after that stunt he pulled yesterday with all of, I heard somebody even lost their eye when they were shooting those rubber bullets in front of the White House. Now, I don't know for sure, and we may never know for sure, but we may find out about it. And like I said, the Democrats should have been out there screaming every week. Not every day, at least every week, about the worst thing of the week. I know he changed the subject so quick that it was hard to hone in on anything. He just kept getting worse and worse, but they should have just picked on this stuff and hit it every day, and so should have MSNBC and CNN, since they're supposed to be political and they're supposed to be fair politics. They should have been hitting on all this stuff he was doing to our government, and it was just like they'd throw it out there for the shock and so they could get the people to listen in, but by the next day that was old news and they didn't want to talk about it, no matter how horrific it was. So I blame a lot of it on the news media. I blame him getting in there on the news media. And as far as the Democrats not hollering every night, I'm sure it's because they've all been feeding at the same trough for years, and they just didn't want to rock the boat. And now the boat may be sinking. And I hope I'm wrong. And that's called the Insertion Act. I'm looking down here at my notes. And it's funny, when he walked out there to do that little photo op, he had somebody from the Pentagon, Bill Barr. I guess he was the one that called the police in to rampage that crowd that was doing nothing but just friendly stuff and singing. And it wasn't time for the curfew to be over yet either, so it wasn't like they were out there after curfew. But maybe he's just practicing, seeing how that'll work. And he ended up there with Bill Barr and somebody from the Pentagon, somebody from the military. I mean, I think he's just already just putting these little feelers out to see what he can get away with. So let's just hope this isn't a dry run for him to take over if he loses the election. And because the senators know he's going to lose. So if they don't start bailing on him pretty damn quick, then I'll be totally convinced that, talk about some kind of plan to take over. Yeah, there's something going on. There's just something going on that we're not seeing in this whole thing. Anyway, I'll shut up, and I know I'm going to have to cut some of this out because it's probably too much when I go to edit this. But I'm just going to do cards for June, and then if it doesn't come up in the reading, my son, bless his heart, he's never asked me to read on it, especially anything political. He even asked me something today. And I didn't realize when he asked me, he must have been channeling me this morning, that I had already written a bunch of stuff down in my notes about the same thing. But if it doesn't... Coming out of here for this. there's 4 weeks. I'd like to use a different deck for every week. I never thought about using a different deck for every week. I think I'll just use these. I always go back to these when I'm doing reading on the government. It just feels, these just feel like the best cards for that. What's going on in June? 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 Come on, Rennie, come in and help me and tell me what's going on in June. You've been hanging out around me all day, giving me really great information. Aha! The High Priestess. I'm going to use this to go above the reading. The High Priestess. Information and justice coming out in June. This sounds unreal, but I'm going to use her above the whole reading just to signify this reading. The High Priestess. I'm going to cut these cards. One more time. One more time. And let's see what's going on the first week in June. I got them upside down. I do. Let's turn them around. Okay, the tower's on fire. Like we don't know. This is already going on. This is like the recent past. Tower's on fire. The people are out in the streets. Got the tower here. And we got the Queen of Swords feeling very very secure right now. Could that be Donald Trump because he's such a whiny little bitch? Or is that Ivanka? That could be him using his whiny feminine energy instead of his, I was going to say, well, feminine energy is always the smartest, but I mean, that could be him, his insecurities coming through. The challenge to him is the whole world's watching. Whole world's watching him screw up. And by the end of the first week in June, somebody's going away. Is it Melania going away? Ivanka going away? Who's going away the end of the first month in June? Maybe we'll bring a clarifier back out on that. I mean the end of the first week in June. Wish it was Trump going away, but I don't think he's ready to throw in the towel yet. Well, we got the death card starting the second week of June, and of course anybody that reads cards knows that sometimes that's death, but that's more likely just total change. I hope that's not him fighting against the states to pull the militia in, but I don't think he could do it that quick. That would be he'd have to do that within 1 week to get away with it for that card to be there. But it's the death of something and the beginning of something else. God, wouldn't that be great if this was him going away? That's how I would read it in any other situation, but he's like a bad pimple. He never goes away. We got the 7 of coins here. For the second week. He's definitely getting really, really worried about money. Maybe the whole Republican Party's getting worried about money. I've been asking when they're going to desert him. Maybe it'd be by the end of the week. Because I know he's usually got his little minions in there that stand up and say how great he is and how great his opinions is on everything. And the only two I've heard speak up today was I think the senator from Florida, who used to be the governor, can't think of his name, but I know it, and the one he kept making fun of for drinking the water during the election. I mean, during the they were fighting to see who was going to win the primaries. So maybe this is some of his Republican support going away, which really lets him know, starting next week, that his time is over, whether he wants to admit it or not. So then he starts thinking about how he's going to get out of there with any money at all, and what's going to go on, what he's going to try to pull next. The challenge is the Ace of Wands. No matter what he's thinking or how bad it is, he's wanting to bring in this stuff. I don't think the law is going to let him. I think the challenge, this is under the challenge spot, he's just going to get challenged by all those other governors. They're just going to say not no, but hell no, we're not going to do this. And by the end of the second week in June, I don't know if it's a speaker. So, I mean, somebody in the House or the Senate or what, but it's like somebody comes in with energy and good ideas to maybe help the Democratic Party, help Biden, help change the outlook or the picture. Maybe it's just news coming in. Although that's the Knight of Wands, it's good news coming in. So by the end of the second week, I know it's 14 days away almost from where we are now, 12 days away. Starting the first of next week, we got a total change. Somebody really checking to see if they got any money at all put back or how much dirty money they got. Maybe that stuff comes out of the Supreme Court and it goes against them for his taxes. Because we have the Ace of Wands here, who's fire and truth. And a new hero coming onto the scene. I don't know who this is, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Somebody's going to start taking a little higher profile out against him. In the third week, wow, we got the Sun. So the third week, there's going to be a lot of light shown on something that's been really, really wrong. I just can't understand what could be coming out, but there's going to be a lot of light shown on something that's been really, really wrong. Still trying to send in the mercenaries. still be trying to send in bad policemen or the military, which might end up being better than the policemen. At least they're better trained. But it still wouldn't be legal. There's something going on here. Every time I see this card, I think of Eric Prince. Move these up a little bit. This is the third week. Light being put on the truth. Maybe truth about mercenaries. And he's really being challenged to leave office by the third week of June. Tell you what, it might, Pence is horrible. Well, what in the hell he could possibly do but screw it up more and maybe faster. But anyway, it looks like somebody's leaving office. The third week of June, somebody's leaving. It's a shame it's not going to be Barr. But it's somebody close to him. Something comes out about Pompeo. Something comes out about somebody really close to him, because he's really feeling kind of really alienated by the third week of this month. The end of the third week. And let's go into the fourth week and see what comes up. I got the Four of Swords. Sometimes is the death card, but I don't think that's what it is. Somebody lives in sleep and laying awake nights, almost sick with worry. Disruption and fight still going on. And I think this is right inside the White House. Just trying to figure out what to do. They're just arguing back and forth and going around in circles with each other. This is the fourth week of June. The reason they're all arguing is they're talking about somebody that might end up in jail. So I wonder what's coming out. I wonder if these taxes are coming out or something. But that's what they're arguing about in there. Got the Nine of Wands there. And then we got the Nine of Swords. So it's really looking bad. I just hope this is for... What I should have did was just said these are cards for Trump instead of for everybody. But something's really looking bad the end of June. Looks like somebody might be going to jail. Let's hope it's the right person. Somebody feeling sorry for themselves because they think somebody's not being loyal to them. And laying awake nights because they've lost one of their best people. Somebody's leaving the third week in June that Trump really depends on. And then going in, God, is this stuff going to go on for 5 weeks? There's some kind of deal struck right towards the end of June. I don't know if it's with the police departments to be individually investigated or to change the hierarchy in them or what, but there's some kind of deal struck that's calming the people down, and they're feeling like there might be some justice coming out of all this marching. A lot of information coming in of stuff we didn't know about what's going on right now. It's going to start coming. It's going to come out quick within the 5th week. going into July, the 1st of July. Maybe that's why somebody leaves in high office, because it looks like the law's even involved. Deep government law, and it's about taking money from the poor. So this is a weird reading. I should have just said it's on Trump or it's on what's going on. It's all about the same, because he won't leave the news or he won't get out of our lives for 3 frickin' seconds. So maybe that's why, but let me go down. I used to do these down after I do them across. Let me go down here and see. The first week would be all kinds of disorder, death. By the third week, there would be light being shined on stuff. By the fourth week, Trump would really be worrying, laying awake nights, and there would be some kind of deal struck on the fifth week. First week we got Trump sitting there feeling pretty secure. By the time a week goes by, he's really upset about family money, trying to figure out if he can bring the mercenaries in on the third week, fighting among his staff on the fourth week, and trying to pull something really sneaky on the fifth week, which is the first week of July. First week, whole world's watching us, we know that. They're going to find out the truth. Let's just hope that America holds together. They're all watching us, just trying to see what's going on. Somebody's leaving the third week. Let's all hope and pray that it's the president. Maybe that's just a lot of it only shows one person, but maybe it is the Eight of Cups. Maybe there's 7 or 8 senators that are jumping ship on the third week. Let's hope that's what this is. That's Republican senators jumping off this sinking ship on the third week of June. Now it's starting to make more sense, because they don't want to go to jail, and they know if they don't get off this ship that they might end up there. They might end up in court battles and everything else before it's through. The best thing they can do is get out of this sinking ship before it sinks. And this is Trump thinking of his future, the end of the first week. Thinking about leaving, thinking he'd have been better off if he wasn't where he was. By the end of the second week, still trying to figure out how he can pull a stunt and be a hero. By the end of the third week, he feels like he's been being deserted by all of his friends. That's got to be the Senate leaving the third week. They're going to start jumping ship the third week of June. And by the fourth week of June, he's not going to be getting any sleep. And by the fifth week of June, even more stuff's going to be coming out about places where he's robbed the poor to pay the rich. But more than just innuendo. Maybe they're going to get his taxes. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So anyway, what my son wanted me to ask was, when was the Republicans finally going to quit backing this idiot? And he's always till Trump got in, he was always a Republican. I don't know if he'll still be a Republican, just a never Trumper, or what he's going to be before it's through. But I don't think he's too happy with the Republican Party anymore. Anyway, it looks like they're going to really start jumping ship in the middle of the third week of June. And let's hope that happens. Let's hope that they give up on whatever, at least the ones that don't know what the dark plan is or what's really going on. They So maybe I said that was the question that my son wanted me to ask, is how long are they going to keep backing this idiot? And it looks like they're going to start pulling back a little bit. Even the end of the first week, they're not going to get out and sing his chorus for him that he's wanting them to. More stuff coming out about truth the middle of the second week that they know they can't stand up to. They're going to start really jumping on the third week. So I've never said that before, because usually timing is so bad when it comes to cards. But I'm going to cross my fingers and hope I'm reading these right, and hope that's what's going to happen. And as far as this other stuff goes, it looks like that they'll be coming to some kind of agreement about something. Maybe get somebody to represent Black Lives Matter and stuff, and get some stuff hashed out starting the 5th week, starting going into July, where there is still anybody out in the streets or something, that they decide that they've gotten some of their way. Maybe just got some promises from government. If they get promises, they better be careful and check them, because it may not be the truth if this government stays in, but they're not anyway. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I was hoping I could come up with some more answers, but I don't know. Don't see any more answers there. This is a different deck. I'm going to see. I'm just going to cut the cards here and see. I have in my mind. I got it upside down. Spring, 3 weeks. 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks. So that's what I'm going to say. That they're going to start jumping ship in 3 weeks. And that was the question my son wanted me to ask. So anyway, I don't know that many cents. I won't know that many cents till I look at the video. Sometimes I just go off in la la land. If anybody'd like a personal reading, it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. And I'd be glad to do it, and I'm not busy at all. Never have been real busy since I moved up to San Diego, and I'm not doing massage full time. But so if anybody would like a reading, please email me, lynntarotreadings, and that's readings with an S, @gmail.com, and I'll get back to you, and we'll set up a reading for you. And I hope you're all having a good night and a good day, and I hope you're all holding in there, that's been home so much, and with everything else going on. And we were to the point, just for the balance and for the earth balance, that some of this stuff had to happen. And we all have to look at it for a greater good. I know it's easy for me to sit here and say that when I got a roof over my head and food in my refrigerator, but I just want you all to know that it is going to get better. Sometimes things just have to be tore down to be built back up right. And just hope and pray that you're all getting along through this. And I want to thank you so much for your comments. And if there's anything you want me to read on, send it to me, please, because I'm always trying to figure out what to read on, because I'll come up with something and then I'll think, well, that's kind of self-explanatory, but just maybe just because I think it is doesn't mean it is. So send it to me, and I'll try not to put my own feelings in it, and just be as honest as I can about it. So night, everybody, and God bless y'all.